Hello, West Scranton Intermediate School. We are back for another WSIS weekly wrap-up. My teacher at Rockstar is Mr. Greg Link. Mr. Link is our 7th grade Theta Social Studies teacher. And my student Rockstar is Janiyah Jones.
Congratulations to my teacher Rockstar, Mr. Link, and my student Rockstar, Janiyah Jones. We're going to start with you, Mr. Link. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Mr. Link. This is my 15th year at West Intermediate. I started in 2006 at the age of 24, and here I am 15 years later at the age of 39. I miss dearly being in the classroom with my students, of course, looking forward to returning. But I'm originally from New Jersey, and I went to the University of Scranton. And when I graduated, I liked Scranton so much that I ended up staying. So, yeah.
Well, we are happy to have you. What is your favorite lesson that you have taught virtually so far?
Well, I would say this year has been a challenge. Of the 15 years that I have been at West Intermediate, this is my first year teaching something other than European history and Asian history and African history. This year it is U.S. government. And believe me, I know it may not always be the most interesting, but no doubt it is certainly the most important. And for me, I would say, of course, that when it comes to the 3 branches of government, the executive branch, the judicial branch, and the legislative branch, and how the 3 of them juggle powers. And in doing so, that's exactly how our government works. Each branch of government juggles one power over the other so that not one branch of government has all of the powers. Because as I told my students, going back to the ex-boyfriend. The ex-boyfriend was the King of England. We'll never go back to having one person with all the power. So I would say, no doubt, it's just learning a little bit about the basics of our 3 branches of government.
Well, look at that. I didn't know you could juggle like that. That's another talent you have. When I did pop it a few times in your class, the music was rocking to get the kids engaged at the beginning, and now you could juggle. You can see why your class is one of the students' favorites. Do you have any tips for our students at West Intermediate to help with virtual learning?
No doubt, I believe in consistency. What is consistency? Well, you will never get better at anything you do if you want to do it twice a week for 2 hours. You don't get better at something unless you do a little bit of it each day. So be consistent in what you do. As you get older, you may want to hit the weights like Mr. Link and be Mr. Link. You will never ever accomplish anything by going to the gym for 2 hours just twice a week. You go a little bit each day. No matter what you want to do, make sure you are consistent in your approach, and you will be better off. So just a little bit each day so that you don't become overwhelmed by putting it off.
Well, that's a great message for our students. And I think that that's one of the reasons why we selected Janiyah as our student rock star, because she has shown remarkable consistency throughout virtual learning. Could you tell us a little bit more why you selected her?
Well, as I just mentioned, I am very big into consistency, and Janiyah, no doubt, comes to every live meet. And she may say at times, and I might feel, she might say, Mr. Link, you know, U.S. government is not always my favorite, but I appreciate what it is that you do, and I am trying my hardest by coming every day and doing assignments in a timely fashion. So she is an example of a consistent student who does a little bit each day so she is learning and she is not overwhelmed or frustrated in her approach to virtual learning.
Janiyah, do you hear the great things Mr. Link just said about you? We were so proud of how well you were doing. Could you tell us some things that you are doing to help you be successful with virtual learning?
Well, some things I do with virtual learning is study, because if you study, then you will be ready for whatever test or whatever quiz is thrown at.
Yeah, and I think sometimes students forget that part because that is very important. You could take all the information you want in, but if you don't study and learn it better, you're not going to succeed like you are doing. What are some of the things you find challenging with virtual learning?
Well, some things I find challenging is, well, I don't really have any challenges during
Do
virtual learning.
right, so you go to all your live meets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's very, very important. And I think a lot of your classmates take those live meets for granted. And being that one-on-one time with your teacher, and if you have a question, they're right there to help you answer. Do you have any tips for your classmates that you think would help them succeed like you are with virtual learning?
One tip is to always study and keep going because it's going to get better.
Well, that is a great tip. And thank you both for all that you're doing, and keep being rock stars, okay?
Okay.
Okay, we are back for another minute to win it challenge between our teacher rock star, Mr. Link, and our student rock star, Janiyah Jones. Here are the rules.
Split the uprights. Sure, these muscle-bound athletes can tackle, run, and make touchdowns, but can they flick a paper football into a bowl? Using a single finger, the contestant must give a good flick and launch 2 paper triangle footballs between uprights made of cups and land them in a punch bowl. Failure to complete this task in 60 seconds may result in
I think she might win outright, though. Just saying. So,
elimination.
are there any questions?
I'm excited.
Okay, when you hear the horn, you can begin.
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
Off the goalpost.
Okay. Get it up in the air, Janiyah. Come on. "40 seconds left.
Janiyah, the representative members are there.
One in.
Oh no!
25 seconds. Four, two, three. 10 seconds. Come on, Mr. Link.
Oh,
3,
wide right.
2
Oh,
seconds. 2, 1. All right, let's see it. Janiyah has 3. Mr. Link has 1. So you know what that means. It's 6 for students and 1 for teachers. Great job, Janiyah. Double overtime win.
oh.
Fantastic. I don't know, Mr. Link. She's rocking at this virtual learning, and she could shoot paper footballs like nobody else.
We have a lot of talented students at West.
Lots of talented. Well, I want to thank you both for participating and keep being rock stars, okay? Thank you.
Congratulations again to my teacher rock star, Mr. Link, and my student rock star, Janiyah Jones. There will be no school on Monday, February 15th. Happy Valentine's Day, Invaders. Enjoy the weekend, and remember, West is best.